Earlier today, I watched Rick Beato's recent interview with the amazing Dweezil Zappa, and I was blown away by some of those odd note grouping minor pentatonic phrases he was throwing around, like this one. And this one. He's creating those sounds by using phrases of odd note groupings, like fives and sevens. After I finished the video, I picked up my guitar and started trying to combine some of those fives and sevens in the minor pentatonic scale. And I found that they immediately lent themselves to some of those signature Frank-style freak-out phrases, like this one. But then I got to thinking about it, using a little bit of mathemagic, and I figured out that you could play that exact same kind of phrase over a straight beat and it fits over a measure perfectly. It's a great way to kind of mix up your typical minor pentatonic blues rock stepdad phrasing. Check this out. On today's video, I'm going to show you guys this concept and how you can start applying it to your playing today to make your phrasing a little bit more interestinger. Hey there kids, it's your good buddy Uncle Ben, and welcome to a brand new installment of Weekend Wank Shop. I love those Rick Beato interview videos. I feel like they just keep getting better and better and keeps getting cooler and cooler guests on there, like my good buddy, the incredible Dweezil Zappa. As soon as I saw that he was on Rick's channel, I knew I had to watch the interview, and I was not disappointed. I highly recommend heading over there, telling him Uncle Ben sent you, and watching the whole thing yourself. It's got a lot of really cool Van Halen stories, and then they start getting into some of the technical aspects of Dweezil's playing, which is pretty insane. Those kind of licks came from learning and transcribing a ton of music written by his dad, the amazing Frank Zappa. And although a lot of Frank's stuff wasn't necessarily meant to be played on guitar, it sure does sound rad whenever you use some of those odd groupings through familiar minor pentatonic phrases like we heard. But we don't just have to limit those ideas to really far out stuff like what Frank was doing. You can use these things to mix up your own minor pentatonic phrasing, even if you're just a rock or blues player. That's what we're going to talk about today. As always, this video is brought to you guys by everybody who supports my channel over on my Patreon page, patreon.com/BenEllerGuitars. Sign up today for all kinds of goodies like bonus videos, backing tracks, and so much more. This week, everybody who supports my channel, even for just $1 a month, is going to get access to the guitar profiles to go along with this lesson, along with the tabs and practice tracks. I'm also going to be putting up another bonus video just for my patrons, showing you guys how to extend this idea even more further. So don't delay. Sign up today and you're going to get access to all that stuff and more. Gear-wise, I'll be playing my lovely Jackson Virtuoso Hardtail here. I love this thing. It's an amazing guitar. I'm playing that through the Fractal Audio Axe FX 3. Yeah, let's hear that lick again at stepdad speed. Okay, so this is based around the good old familiar D minor pentatonic scale. I'm also tossing in that E note right here for a little bit of the German interval, the 9. Now the first phrase that I'm playing here is a 5. Now if you're familiar with Eric Johnson's playing, you know this phrase already because he uses it all the time. You can see I'm just walking down the scale 5 notes, then restarting the pattern from the next highest string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next highest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go up. You get the idea. The other phrase that I'm playing is based around a 7. Now I'm playing this by essentially extending that Eric Johnson idea. And instead of just playing down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm giving this a little bit of an extension. You can see I'm using a big reach up here to get to the next note in the scale. that gives me a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 note long phrase. So this entire thing is flip-flopping, 5, 7, 5, 7, and so on. The first phrase sounds like this. Here's the 5. And then we play the 7 phrase starting from the B string C note. So we have 5, 7. You'll notice I'm not picking all those notes. We'll talk about the picking and pull-offs and stuff later on in the video. But I would practice that 5 to 7 thing first. After this, we're going to restart the same idea, but from the B string. So the 5 phrase is going to sound like this. Then the 7 phrase will sound like this. After this, start the phrase from the G string. 5 phrase is going to sound like this. And the 7 phrase will be like this. Notice we're getting that E note up here. And the last phrase is going to start off here on the D string with the 5. And then the 7 phrase is going to reach up like this. Notice the walk down there on the low E string. There's that E note again, the 9th. I kind of look at it as starting the phrase from the E, B, G, D. So if you put it all together, it's going to sound something like this. Now, picking wise, I'm playing this with a combination of hammer-ons and pull-offs. Playing the 5 phrases like this, a downstroke with a pull-off, and then down, up, down. So, and then the 7 phrases, I'm playing like this. So that's a downstroke and a pull twice, and then down, up, down. I just kind of like the way that sounded with the accents kind of shifting like that and the pull-off sounding a little softer and the pick notes giving you the strong accent in there. You could actually alternate pick your way the whole thing if you're, you know, a masochist. It's pretty tough to do. Or this is actually totally compatible with Eric Johnson's style downward pick slanting. If you do down, up, down, up, down, and then down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's really tough to do. That's initially how I wanted to play the lick, but then I started doing it with the pull-offs and I just kind of liked how that sounded better. So now that you got the phraseology down, let's talk about why this works the way that it does and how we can take advantage of it. Okay, here's the thing, guys. 5 plus 7, according to my homeschool mathematics, equals a dirty dozen, right? 12. You know what else equals 12? 4 beats worth of triplets. 1 pullet, 2 pullet, 3 pullet, 4 pullet. The typical kind of Zakk Wylde sort of phrasing, right? That's a dozen notes as well. So any phrase where we combine a group of 5 and a group of 7 as triplets, it's going to fit very nicely over a couple of beats. Triplet, 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 triplet. See, it really fits nicely over a beat. It doesn't really sound like it because the groupings are so odd. It's not a predictable sounding phrase like, but it's every bit as groovy if you play it that way. It's a really cool thing about this phraseology. It changes up the rhythmic accents in a really unpredictable way. It makes your phrasing kind of sound like it's like all over the beat, but in reality it's fitting very nicely inside of the measure. You could, of course, reverse that too and play a group of 7, then a group of 5. Triplet, 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 triplet. I think I did that right. That adds up to a dozen as well. There's There's really no limit to this. You could also mix that up and do 5-7 and then 7-5, and that would add up to 4 beats worth of triplets. So you could have like 5, 7, 7, 5. This is really cool because I feel like a lot of our most commonly used rhythmic subdivisions are big even numbers, right? Like 12, 4 beats worth of triplets, or 16, 4 beats worth of fours. And most of us achieve those numbers by playing something obvious, like 4 groups of 4 for 16, or 4 groups of 3 for 12. But by combining odd numbers, like 5 plus 7 equals 12, you can get a really unpredictable sound where the groove is kind of bouncing all over the measure. I think that's really cool and more interesting sounding than something that's very linear like a lot of players use. So there you go, guys, a lesson in some Dweezil style pentatonic madness. Dweezil-tonics, if you will. Trademark Uncle Ben. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to watch the full interview over on Rick Beato's channel. It's really fantastic. Highly recommend it. Don't forget to support my channel by checking out that Patreon page over at patreon.com/BenEllerGuitars. It's where you're going to get the guitar profile for this song, as well as the tabs and practice tracks. And of course, gain access to that very special exclusive video showing you guys how you can get even more mileage out of this concept. So don't delay. Sign up today. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel and ring the bell for notifications every time I upload a new slice of fried gold. Thanks so much for watching. Now get away from the computer and put these concepts to use on that guitar of yours. Less clicking, more picking.